Alright, so it's set up right now. Let's actually do some work on it. I'm going to get a PS2 mouse out of my bin here, which is a disaster area, but I have a bin. I hope I've got a working PS2 mouse. I should have that, I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this thing. The TrackMan. Like I said, things are in disarray right now because I've got so many ongoing projects that it's kind of not even funny. There is a screw here. There should be another screw sitting out from the hard drive bay. Actually, it's the caddy. I had it taken apart because I was experimenting with it. I had to replace the hard drive, obviously. And I just never put them back in. Oops. Alright, let's fire her up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to find my boot manager floppy. I'll put that in there. Watch it booting. IBM. I love that floppy seek noise. That was probably one of my favorite things of the old school computing days. Starting MS-DOS. It didn't even bother to boot from my floppy. You suck. I think I changed it to boot from the hard drive first. In an ill-fated attempt, because I thought that it was having issues booting from the floppy because, you know, all that, or having issues booting from the hard drive because of the floppy, the arrangement of the boot order, but it turns out that's completely false. So now I gotta set it back. Get in here, we have to go to the start options and the BIOS. Startup sequence. I want diskette drive 0, CD-ROM, hard disk 0, disabled. Alright, cool. And that's the way that it should be set up. We can take a look at the system summary while we're in here. Here you can see Pentium 2, 450. I find that very hard to believe, personally. 512K cache enabled. Cache is enabled with ECC. It's got 128 megabytes of ECC. That's PC 133 memory. Matrox video adapter. I think it's an MGA Millennium, to be perfectly honest with you. And all of the various settings. Obviously, it's got a... It's actually a 1080 AT, which is, I think, supposed to be a 1.08 gigabyte quantum failball, but it's obviously showing up as 1090 for some reason, but that's alright. As long as it works, the system detects all of it, that's all I care about. Okay, so now I gotta wait for it to post again. Alright, and then I'm gonna put in a CD with MS-DOS 622 on it. This is a boot disk. Just an ISO that I downloaded off of the internet. You know, I've got that, what is it, that bootdisks.com site. So this should allow me to strap into Windows 98 setup. As opposed to having to make a separate boot floppy and having to deal with that because it's a pain in the ass, I'm just going to do it this way. Boot from CD-ROM, please. Waiting for the drive. Alright, starting MS-DOS from CD-ROM. This is not something that you will see done often. Assuming that it actually even still works, which it looks like it might be. So that's good. Alright. Drive R. Driver Banana, Unit 0. What was it before? I think it was Tomato on the boot disk. But, so that's done. I'm going to insert my Windows 98 disk, and we will be done with it. Alright, into setup we go. It's going to perform a routine check. That's okay by me. Alright, we're actually getting somewhere. Too bad the mouse is so small that I have to go over to the computer in order to operate it. Wow, oh, it looks like I got a sticker on it. I don't know what this came from. Phoenix West. Well, obviously not that important. Whoa. I better use it with the right hand here because it's not configured properly. Okay, so it looks like I won't be showing much of this, but then again, you've all seen Windows 98 set up before. I could get the tripod and do it that way, but that's a lot of work for a lowly Pentium 2. And setup is now proceeding. at turtle pace. I really do like the case design of these. Probably could have got a regular, like a PC 300PL or 300GL or something like that, but I think the IntelliStation is definitely much more interesting. Because they were more professional than the, it was a professional grade system, whereas the, well, I guess they both were, but these were more intended to be workstation type PCs as opposed to the 300GL and PL, which were just bog standard desktop PCs, really. Not much special. They're both equally as cool. I could have got a 300PL desktop, but I passed it up because I didn't really have the space for it at the time. I don't even really have the space for it now either. I don't have the space for this. I'll have to figure out where I want to put it, because it can't sit on the bed all the time. There we go. Unlike the case with MS-DOS, it seems to have actually created a master boot record. I don't know why it didn't when I tried to install DOS, but it didn't. So, there was one thing. But now it's actually working. You can hear it thrashing over there. I don't think it's supposed to make that noise. I hope it's working. Looks like it is, despite the fact that it's making horrific noises over there. And that is what I like to see. The good news as opposed to the bad news. So this is going to take another 18 minutes. Well, I don't really think so. Now it should be beginning to install drivers. Hopefully it's got the majority of the drivers that it needs on that disk, as opposed to my requiring to have to search for drivers. The Matrox video card probably is going to need to require that I search for drivers, but hopefully at least most of the things are working. The sound is probably the biggest thing that I think is not going to work. It worked out of the box when I was experimenting with Windows XP on these, but that's Windows XP, not Windows 98. So, we'll see. So this is getting fairly annoying. I am attempting to set up Windows 98, and Windows 98 does not want to be set up. Once again, it just demonstrates my lack of want to deal with Windows 98. It's a terrible operating system. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way right now. It is horrible. Terrible operating system. One of the worst that Microsoft has ever produced. It's on the top 5 anyways. Obviously, Windows Millennium Edition and Windows 10 are worse, but never mind that. Getting past all of my personal gripes with it, it seems to be freezing at the load, or what was it? Setting up programs on the start menu, and it was running grprconv.exe and hanging. And I don't really know why it was running that program. I think that was kind of stupid, because there's nothing that it needs to convert, and there are no groups that it is making. Although I think technically programs on the start menu, those folders that are in the start menu, are program groups. But that being said, there's no sense in any of that. It doesn't make any sense to me. It can just, instead of converting it, it can just do it the right way to begin with. But no, it's got to sit there and hang its crap all over the place. So now I'm copying all the files to the hard drive, just on an off chance that it's because there's something wrong with the CD-ROM drive, which is possible. So I'm going to do that, and if it still doesn't work, I'm installing Windows 2000, because this is ridiculous. I am not going to sit here and waste my time with this. Or, to spite it, I might install MS-DOS and Windows 3.1. Disk drives. We don't need no stinking disk drives. That is the first time that sound has ever worked out of the box. For me on Windows 98. Wow. Well, anyways, it's here. The display driver is very obviously not installed, so I'm going to have to deal with that. There was a Millennium G200 driver, I know that. I'll have to see what is going on with that. But it looks like it's working. Genuine Intel Pentium 2 processor, 128 megs of RAM. Oops. That wasn't working. Crystal WDM audio codec. Apparently it installed itself twice. I don't know how that happened. Hope my synthesis is working, if it's even got any synthesis on it. Yeah, it's using the standard PCI graphics adapter. Update driver. Display a list of all drivers. We've got the disk. Let's just say that we've got the disk. And we'll go into C, Win Setup, Drivers, Display. It should be under Matrox. Matrox G200. Let's try that. Sure, restart the computer, and now I'll find that it broke itself, and I'll have to run the damn setup program all over again. If it didn't just ram one end of itself into the other. I love it when Windows 98 does that. Control-Alt-Delete. 3-finger salute. Update device driver wizard is not responding. Yeah, it's not a surprise, is it? I can't win. Hopefully I didn't just bork the whole installation. I probably did. It's Windows 98. Let's be realistic here. Going through all that damn trouble to get that installed, it probably just exploded all over itself. What, no scan disk? Okay. Windows protection error? Oh, it looks like it just rebooted itself. Oh, no. It didn't install. It's definitely only mono audio. I should probably check before... No, I think it's still running the generic VGA driver. So it probably didn't even take at all. I'm gonna have to find a, no, it did. Matrox Millennium G200 AGP. Okay. So let's go to settings. 16 colors. High color. Well, it'll only do 256, but that's okay. You must restart. Wow. That sucks. Hopefully it will actually be in high color mode and it won't have exploded. I'm going to probably delete the setup files as well because there's no space on that hard drive for anything, but it looks like it worked. Yep. That worked fine. There's a little bit of graphical artifacting going on here. Let me see if the auto adjust on this monitor will correct that. Or at least some of it anyways. Yeah, I didn't really do much. That was like a fart in a whirlwind. And now my camera's running out of batteries. Can anything possibly go right during this video? Nah, I don't think so. So, there we go. There's Windows 98 installed, but that's not all. I'm going to install the Plus Pack on this, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge the battery first. Now how about we do some things that business computers are not meant to do, and one of those things is playing MIDIs. This thing has actually got Crystal FM synthesis on it. So let's have a listen to what that sounds like with the Microsoft Projector Wizard test sound. Alright. Sounds pretty decent, I would say, well, for FM synthesis anyways. Some people swear by it. Let's have a listen to some other things here. I might get my video muted. Is there anything in here that will not get my video muted? There's a little bit of software reverb going on there, because I don't think FM synthesis is typically capable of doing that. And the old standby. Alright. Okay, I think that's about enough of that. At least for tonight. Got the Microsoft Plus pack installed. Pretty much everything is set up for now. I think that'll be pretty much it for this particular video. So, thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then, folks. Ta-da! The video's over. Hee hee.